Charles, what do you make of that Kerry comment in between interviews over the weekend?
Look, he said this is how anybody would react. He's not anybody. He's the Secretary of State of the greatest power in the world, a friend and ally of Israel. And for him to react to pictures without understanding, as he should, and as the administration at least officially does, what is the cause of the suffering is simply unbelievable. A ceasefire was offered a week ago by Egypt. Israel accepted it. Hamas rejected it. Had Hamas accepted it, there would have been none of the deaths and none of the pictures that you're seeing. That's a fact. That's a fact that you cannot refute, even though Dr. Pargudi, lying through his teeth, refuted it and said it never happened. It happened. We know that. A week before that, Hamas started the rocket fire. Israel has no interest in a rocket war over Gaza. None. It started with unrelenting attacks that Israel had to respond to, and the only reason that you aren't seeing dead Israeli civilians, 2 were killed, 2,000 rockets were aimed into Israel. Imagine if that had happened into the United States. We would be leveling the places from which the rockets came. You know, the United States reacted, and the British reacted, to the bombing that happened in the Blitz in London by turning Dresden into rubble and Berlin into fine rubble. Firebombing Tokyo, where more people were killed than Hiroshima. The Israelis are losing soldiers precisely because whereas they could make Gaza into rubble in 2 days, they put soldiers on the ground so as not to have to do that, and they suffer high casualties. They are the ones with the moral high ground, and if you allow a picture to alter that perception, you are not acting like a Secretary of State. See how much coverage there is tomorrow in the papers of the fact that the UN, which discovered 20 rockets in a UN school in Gaza and was forced to admit it after a delay of a day, do you know what it did with those rockets? It turned it back to the authorities, so can now be used to kill Jews. That's the UN, the supposed arbiter, the parliament of man in action.
And the United States just announced $47 million additional dollars for humanitarian purposes in Gaza through the same UN agency.
And you know where that's going to end up? In concrete, in tunnels, and in the making of new rockets.